Caleb, I'd love to start with you. You've already worked with Luc Besson on Dogman, which another movie that I love. When he kind of came to you with this idea of playing Dracula, what was kind of your first reaction, and what ultimately kind of made you want to star in this movie?
It wasn't so much like it had nothing to do with Luke. It was more a fear of how many times this character had been seen before through television, film, B movies, pornos. I mean, the amount of times this character has come
God.
up, I'm sure I don't even know the half of. So I was just terrified of being one more person to give that a go, and it always sticks with me. Brando saying you only got so many faces in your pocket, or something like this, and you know, and so, but the thing that didn't make me nervous was knowing Luke would was making it. Once I read the script, because I didn't know he was wanting to make the film until he'd written the script. Uh, that it was obvious also what he was trying to say with the film, what he was trying to do, and I was very much a part of that. Wanted to be a part of that. But the experience on Dogman was so wonderful and special and unusual for so many ways uh,
Such a beautiful movie.
that I know I will never have an experience like Dogman ever again,
Sure.
probably ever, safe to say. And I think this is what you get into when you make a Luc Besson picture. You're getting into one of these kinds of experiences that will never come again. And
Something out of the ordinary.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if you're willing to rise to the challenge, then you know,
Yeah. You can definitely say that about Luc Besson. None of his movies are the same. They're all
yeah,
very
and,
different.
and none of them are easy. And he's always he's always I don't know how to explain it. I have a big love for him, of course, but I also have a great respect for him as a filmmaker, editor, a producer, a writer.
Sure. No, totally, totally. Zoe, I'd love to know kind of what brought you to this project too. I mean, it's your first time starring in a Luc Besson movie. What was it that kind of made you want to join Dracula, and how did you kind of react when you were reading the script for the first time and kind of starting to get a sense of this character that you'd be playing?
God, I was so excited and so nervous. And obviously, I had seen I was a big fan of the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula in high school, but this is a very different Dracula to ours. It is no Luc Besson Dracula. Like they're totally different beings. And but the myth of Dracula has always been really intriguing to me. And when I got the script and I read it, I was so moved by how this interpretation of Dracula was so emotional and vulnerable and so human, less monster creature like. It was just so human. And to see a character that we've all been obsessed with, the historical, like, monster of Dracula, that. and
Pretty
and to
good.
That was good.
thank you, okay. um to see him kind of like have his like innards exposed in
Mhm.
such a way, and like to see that he has a big beating heart that longs and dreams of love, like, whoa, so cool. And I mean, when I got the audition, I couldn't believe it, and I was so excited, and I literally prayed. I got on my knees and I prayed. I was like, please God, I would dream to be in this movie. And then when I got the news that I did, I also fell to my knees and I cried, and it was like, oh my God, like, I was not okay. When Luke called me, he was like, "Are you sitting down?" And I was like, shit, I said, and I fell, anyway, but then, and to also, hear that I'm gonna be working with some of my favorite actors, let alone one of my favorite directors, like, oh my God, like just a all-star cast and crew of creatives coming together to build this dream of Luke's. And
And to turn you into a princess.
and I got to be a princess.
Yeah, you did.
The little girl inside of me, who wore a tiara 24/7, by the way, actually got to wear a big girl tiara, and I'm not gonna lie, I will carry this experience with me for forever. I feel so grateful, and grateful that Luke trusted me and gave me this opportunity, and saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see in myself at the time, and yeah, I just feel really grateful.
But when you
Be a
say
part of
that,
it.
it's also the amazing thing about working with someone like Luke is you might not see it as an actor, but he sees it, um, and it's okay if you don't. You
Yeah.
know, you just
Yeah,
need to be willing to do the work and to try,
and to trust.
and to trust. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, and then I think there's the chance for something to really happen.
Mm.
Um, but for both of us, I think like you speak about this tiara moment, and me seeing the armor and like little kid versions, I think of ourselves that just were
That armor,
happier than
that sword,
just yeah, just
that face mask.
the little kids in us, and you feel that very much. You feel that that little kid in Luke, that excitement for what he's doing, and it's very palpable. And
Yeah.
it's very easy to take hold of yourself and also feel that, and it's a really wondrous thing about working with him on one of his projects.
I also think it's what made us all work together. I think
Yeah.
you, me, and Luke, as a trio, like we both have such a alive inner children. I
Mm.
think in that imagination and that
Yeah, playfulness.
playfulness and the dream, you know.
What's under the rock?
Yeah, what's under the rock? And I think that's what made us all kind of work together so well.
Sure. Yeah, no, totally. That makes total sense. And kind of building off that, Caleb, your performance in here, I mean, it's so great, but it's also like it's so physical and vocal. I mean, the
Mm.
way you do that one laugh in the beginning just took me out because it was so unexpected and came out of nowhere. So what was it kind
I
of
think
like?
I was unexpected too, you know.
Was it?
Brilliant. It's one of
Yeah,
So
my
how
I
did
knew
favorite
one of the
jokes.
takes, but which take I don't know when to try.
how did you kind of go about like building all that though? Like his voice and especially with all the costumes and the makeup, what was your process like for that?
Yeah, so Luke had an artist that he worked with on Dogman and on other films who did mock-ups of what Luke had described, I think, to him. So that was the first thing I saw was a mock-up of Vlad, 400 years old, the Count.
Mm.
Um, but we spoke about this idea of more of a dragon, more of like a lizard kind of quality to the skin. He
Reptilian.
always wanted a lower voice, but he didn't want it to be too slow. He always wanted this kind of breathing. He always wanted a kind of trouble with the breathing, and so already he's giving you things that are very specific, but also become much bigger than just breathing, and that turns into how you start to show pain or show how you show breathing became a big part of how to show a lot of things
Mhm.
Yeah.
in this movie. When I find her again, I take a breath, and suddenly these things, from such a simple note at the beginning, which is you have a hard time breathing. You're a smoker, Caleb. Kind of, give me more of that.
Sure.
But and even though they're kind of small in a way, they're not small at all. They're very big.
Mm.
But it's hard for me to intellectualize things, and so it's much better for the less we speak about things in that kind of way, the better.
Mm.
And sometimes you just say, no, 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 it's a dragon. It's a dragon. And then what is that? But we don't need to talk about the dragon too much. But
Sure.
when he brings up, no, you are a dragon, suddenly in that tone, I know what he means for this.
Yeah.
And then, but anyways, but very early on, he had very specific ideas, just like with Dogman. There is a gentleness, there is a fluidity, like with Douglas and Dogman. There were certain things that we'd started already in that character that I think kind of some of that brought into this character, but then other things that were not that at all. But there's a gentleness and a kind of a lightness sometimes to this character and Douglas, I think, but a softness kind of sometimes.